All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Tuesday, November 5th, 2019, and we are done with week 9 of the NFL. And hopefully, you had a much better week 9 than I did. Both my teams lost, and of course, I went 7-7 on my pick'em, so that's not a good week. There's not even just a good week by my teams to fall back on. Of course, the Patriots lost by some cheating shit, and the Lions weren't able to win their game against the Raiders. It was a close game, but it's the Lions, and it is what it is. But the Patriots, yes, they finally lost, so haha to me. Congratulations to the Ravens. You won the Super Bowl. And that's what the reaction of the Ravens community would seem like, but whatever. But yeah, I went 7-7 on Pick'em. Not a great week. There was a lot of crazy games. There's about 4 games that were just crazy upsets, like the Chargers over the Packers. Most people got that wrong. But yeah, anyway, let's get started on week 10. We have the buys to get right to. There's 6 teams that are off this week, so there's only 13 games. So, this is kind of a small week in comparison to other weeks. So, of course, we have the Broncos, Eagles, Jaguars, Patriots, Redskins, and Texans all getting their buys finally. Probably the best week to get it is about week 10, because then you have the next 5-6 weeks to kind of just dominate other teams. It is what it is. It's a good week to get a bye week about this time of the season. You can kind of get rested. You go into your next game super prepared. And, it is what it is. No Patriots this week, so that kind of sucks for me. But, yeah, so Broncos, Eagles, Jaguars, Patriots, Redskins, and Texans. Those are the teams you won't be seeing this week. Thursday night football, we start off with kind of it depends on what your fandom of football is. This isn't a very good game, all things considered. It's an AFC West divisional game. I don't think a lot of people are very interested in this game. The Chargers are playing the Raiders. The Chargers are 1.5 point favorites with an over/under of 48.5. All my lines today were from FanDuel. So if you're wondering where I got the lines from, this is FanDuel. Very early opening lines. So FanDuel is my source this week. So anyway, Los Angeles Chargers, I have them winning 28-20 over the Raiders in what probably will be a boring game. Normally I would have not picked the Chargers, but the way they played the last couple weeks seemed to indicate that Gordon's finally back. They fired Ken Whisenhunt, and it seems like that's going to fix a lot of things. Phillip Rivers was throwing the ball less. Looked a lot better while throwing the football. I think he went 21 for 28. They rushed the ball over 30 times. So I like what I'm seeing from the Chargers. New direction of the team. Give the ball to the running backs. Limit what Phillip Rivers can do. Don't have him throw it over 30 times. And yeah, and if they continue that kind of style against the Raiders, who are kind of inconsistent, one week they look really good, the next week it's like, They had to struggle beat a team with absolutely no defense in the Detroit Lions. And the Chargers just kind of put on a defensive clinic against Aaron Rodgers. So when you're looking at those things, the way the teams are coming into the games, I like the Chargers in this one, 28-20. So let's go ahead and go on to the 1 p.m. games. There's a lot of silly games like this one. There's not much to say here. The Ravens are going into Cincinnati to play the Bengals. Ryan Finley's making his first start for the Bengals. Dalton's going to be on the bench. The Ravens are 9.5 point favorites with an over-under of 45. There's really just... They just beat the Patriots. It would be hilarious if the Bengals upset the Ravens. It would make my goddamn week if this Ravens team just got beat up by the Bengals. I'm hoping the Bengals pull this off. It's some kind of wacky world. They win like 13-10 or something. But I doubt that's going to happen. Give me the Ravens 35-13. This is a game that makes no sense. I don't know how the Browns were favored over the Seahawks and now the Browns. I don't understand how overrated this team is. But at 2-6, they're still being considered a team that can beat a 6-2 team with a dominant league, with a very, very dominant defense. They have it's a playoff caliber unit, not a playoff caliber team in the Bills. The defense, most teams would, I don't even want to know, most teams would be undefeated with that defense, but their offense is kind of questionable in Buffalo. So I could see why people would be like, well, with Cleveland's defense, it's going to be a defensive battle, I think, in this one, where I think a touchdown is scored by the Bills' defense. That's why I have them at, it's not 10-9, I have it at 17-9 because I think the Bills wind up winning this game 17-9, but it's on their defensive prowess. The Browns are favored by 2.5 with an over-under of 40.5, sorry. I would bet the under on this one, and I'd be betting the Browns to just win this game. So, again, the Browns are really, really overrated. They're still favored to beat teams like the Seahawks and the Browns, and the Bills. So I would go and bet this game very, very early. Try and get some free money off this one. This is free money from Vegas, by the way. So again, another really bad game. Like I said, the 1 p.m. games are full of weird ones. There's not much to say here. This is like a reverse of 2 seasons, right? The Falcons are 1-7 heading into a game against the New Orleans Saints. Saints are coming off a bye. Drew Brees is back. Everyone's going to be fresh and healthy. They're at home. This is a nightmare for disaster for the Falcons. They might not score 14 points. The Saints are favored by 13 with an over-under of 51. I could easily see that happening. Depends on what Falcons show up. There's not really much to say here. The Falcons stand absolutely no chance. It would be almost as big of an upset as the Jets beating the Cowboys. Actually, this would be bigger than that because the Falcons are just seem to be destitute in their abilities this year. So give me the Saints over the Falcons. This is the first game that gives you any kind of pause for cause about like what could be the outcome of it, right? The Chargers and Raiders, there was sort of like I don't really know what's going to happen in this one, but this one really you just got no idea. It's the battle for New York. It's the battle for who owns the Meadowlands for the next 4 years until they play again. It's the Giants going to play the Jets. I don't have to say they have to travel anywhere. They share a stadium. Both teams 2-7, 1-7. The Giants minus 2.5 favorites with an over-under of 42. I'd bet the under in this one. Actually, I have them going over, so the Jets aren't going to look as bad as they've looked in weeks past in this game, but they're not winning this game. They just lost to the Dolphins. They've had one sneaky shock win over the Cowboys. Their team isn't very good. It's going to be I don't know. It's just something feels wrong with the Jets heading into this week. I know they have all the trade distraction, all the drama going on. Meanwhile, the Giants are just doing their thing. They've looked bad. They look bad this year at 2-7. But if you watch and you see the slow improvement of Daniel Jones, there's reason to be optimistic again for this team. There's reason to actually go, okay, so in the future, this is not going to be a bad football team. It's just going to take a little while. There's going to be growing pains. And I think because of the way Jones has played against the Lions, he played all right against the Cowboys, played all right against Detroit. Not the greatest. He didn't have eye-popping numbers against either team. But, he's been playing a lot better than the way he started the year. So I think that'll come out, it'll pay dividends, and they get the W against the Jets just because the Jets are a goddamn dumpster fire. Nobody wants to play for Gase. Gase just got beat by the Dolphins. It's an embarrassing situation. Darnold can't control his shining ability. He keeps seeing ghosts all over the place. So we're going to have to... That game sucks. All right, we got more 1 p.m. games. This is actually going to be a pretty good game. Very good defense versus a very good offense. This kind of depends on if Mahomes plays. This game will be a lot different, I think. But even with like a 60% Mahomes, which he could come back against in this game, seeing as they are playing the AFC again. This is kind of an important game for seeding, all sorts of fun stuff. Now that the Ravens and Bills are both 6-2, it's time to probably start focusing on where you're going to be in the playoff situation. If you're the Chiefs, and if he can go, he can go. You should probably bring him back. But if he doesn't, your defense has been rallying, your offense has been rallying around the situation. So I do like the Chiefs to win this game 28-21. Chiefs 3.5 point favorites with an over-under of 48.5. The Titans have been playing pretty well since they've gone ahead and moved on to Ryan Tannehill, but they still really don't have much of an offense. It's still questionable. Leaves their defense on the field too long, so they get gassed. And if the offense can't keep the ball away from the Chiefs, it's going to be a long fucking afternoon for the Titans defense. Because they're just going to get smoked. It'll happen later in the game, too. That's going to be the bitch about it, because this game will probably start off with the Titans with a pretty good-sized lead, but then the offense is going to start doing that thing where they just kind of go 3 and out for like 3 straight quarters or something, and the defense gets gassed, and then the Chiefs kind of take advantage of it. I kind of feel like that's how this game is going to go. Just because the offense, I don't see them putting together like 8-minute drives and stuff, which is the key to beating the Chiefs. You just got to play keep away. And I don't know if the Titans have the offensive capabilities to do that, especially if the Chiefs defense is playing anywhere near the way they've played the last couple weeks. So I like the Chiefs in this one just because I don't trust the Titans offense enough to do the right thing. Who cares about this game? I I have Tampa Bay winning simply because the way that the Bucs play, they play very good teams very close till the end of games. They can play with teams, but they wind up losing them in the last little bit. Normally, it's to the really good teams that happens. See the Seattle Seahawks. And if that comes down to this, I do believe this is a shootout. The Bucs are 4.5-point favorites with an over/under of 52.5. I think this game becomes a shootout. Whoever gets the ball last wins. Neither team's got a defense really to speak much about. The Cardinals kind of have one that shows up on plays, but not very consistently. The Buccaneers have a good defensive front, and that's about that. I don't know. This will be an interesting game, at least. I don't really have much to say about it because I didn't put much thought into it. But I have the Bucs winning by a touchdown, 35-28. This will be a pretty fun game for people who are Lions and or Bears fans. Classic divisional game. The Lions are heading into Chicago to play the Bears. The Bears are 3-point favorites with an over/under of 42.5. So I guess this is my upset pick of sorts. The Lions over the Bears. I think the Lions, though they don't have a defense, the Bears do not have an offense. So it's kind of that age-old question of lack of offense meets lack of defense. What happens? Hopefully, the Lions' offense is enough to overcome the Chicago Bears' defense. That has looked a little shaky at times this year. That's been beatable simply because they get exhausted because they're on the field way too much because the offense just doesn't. They have like 6-second drives and then it's over with. I just have a feeling the Lions are going to be able to pull this one off. Just because I just don't believe in the Bears' offense. And I said I'm done picking the Bears this year because they don't have an offense. They didn't do anything to address the offensive woes at the trade deadline. Yeah, I'm not picking the Bears anymore. So give me Detroit over the. I almost forgot that I said that. But yeah, I'm picking the Lions over the Bears because the Bears don't have an offense. Even with the Lions' terrible defense, I think they can manage Mitch Trubisky. If they can't, they're only winning like 4 games this year, and I'm going to be mad. But give me the Lions over the Bears. I think their defense can make more plays than Mitchell can even dream of making. So, yeah, that feels right. So those are the 1 p.m. games, just real quick. Let's give a quick recap. Ravens over the Bengals, Bills over the Browns, Saints over Falcons, Giants over Jets, Chiefs over Titans, Buccaneers over Cardinals, and Lions over the Bears. 4 p.m. games, we got 3 of these. There's not much to say here. The Colts host the Dolphins. I don't even think it matters who's playing quarterback for the Colts. This game's not going to be close. The Colts are 10.5 points favorites with an over/under of 44. The most of that's going to be on the Colts if they can score that many. I'm going on the notion that maybe we're not going to see Jacoby Brissett. That's what my score prediction is. They beat the Jets, but that's because they wanted to beat Adam Gase. Now they're going to go back to their tanking ways. They got one out of the way. They're not going to lose them all. 1-15, a lot less worse than 0-16. So, Colts over Dolphins in a game. This is actually going to probably be one of the best games of the weekend outside of Monday Night Football, which is the Seahawks and the 49ers. Packers and Panthers, very good matchup. Two teams with very good records. The Packers are 7-2. The Panthers are 5-3. Panthers have had a weird kind of up and down season with the start. They were kind of not that good. Then they went on a long ride. Now they've lost. Now they've lost, and now they won again. So it's kind of been a weird, inconsistent season. But they've looked very good while they win. The Packers, they're 7-2. They've had a very good season. Rodgers is playing at a career. He's been rejuvenated, it appears, compared to the last couple of seasons. The Packers have a great defense, somewhat, and they're 5.5 point favorites at home, 48.5, and that's pretty much why I went with the Packers in this one. I think the home field advantage makes a major difference. The way Rodgers has been playing, I know they just got beat by the Chargers, but that's kind of a freak game. The Chargers kind of caught them napping, it looked like. I think the Packers thought they were a lot better than what they were, and they got kind of in a trap game. They were kind of overlooking the Chargers, and I think that kind of explains part of it. Plus, the reemergence of Melvin Gordon caught him off guard. So, at home, off a loss, where it was a focus loss where they just kind of got beat up on. I don't see them losing like that twice in a row. I don't see them losing twice in a row this year, especially not when they're playing at home. Home's a good place for the Packers. Give me the Packers 27-24 in what should be a highly competitive game. I want to see, but the last time I think I seen, and another reason I pick in the Packers over the Panthers is because the last time I seen Kyle Allen play a very good team in the 49ers, he looked terrible. So I'm wondering if that's a thing with him. We'll see if, since the stakes are going to be raised again, I wonder how he plays. Does he do what he did against the 49ers? We'll see. He threw 3 picks and was terrible, so that's what that's about. And then, of course, we have what should have been a very good game. It actually probably still is a pretty good game, considering the Steelers are now 4-4. The Rams are 5-3. The Steelers win this, they're 5-4, and they're suddenly they're suddenly back. They're kind of reemerging themselves. They're in conversation again. Much like I sort of thought would happen, they'd start bad and finish like 11-5. That was my actual prediction before the season. We'll see if that maintains. I think 10-6 or 9-7, but we'll see if that holds true. And that was before the Big Ben injury, so. But I do have them losing this game 28-21. Rams, I believe they're coming off of a bye week this week, so they're going to be very fresh. They're going to be ready to go. They're going to be well coached, rested. Some of their older players are going to be playing pretty well. The Rams are favored by 4 with an over-under of 45. So, this should be a pretty fun game. I just think the Rams are a lot better team than the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. Steelers aren't a bad team right now. They're sort of finally coming into their own identity. Their defense is shoring up a little bit. But I think the Rams off a bye week, I think they're going to be really ready for this one, and I think they realize there's sort of a desperation for them right now, seeing as the 49ers are running away with the division at 8-0, the Seahawks are 7-2, they're stumbling around at 5-3, so there's going to be some desperation. They're going to be very well ready for this game, very well prepared, very well coached, very focused. So give me the Rams in this one because they're desperate. 28-21. Sunday Night Football, we have another pretty good game. I'm leaning on my laurels in this one a little bit when I say that I think the Cowboys are going to beat the Vikings. The Cowboys are 3-point favorites with an over-under of 47.5, which is, I have them scoring, 47? So right about there. So main reason, I do not trust Kirk Cousins in this kind of a stage whatsoever. He's like 6-14 in primetime games against teams that are good. Cowboys 5-3 record, they're above 500. That activates the 6-14 record that Kirk Cousins has in primetime games against good teams. And this is a primetime game. It's Sunday Night Football. I don't trust Kirk Cousins. He's going to have to come out here and prove everybody wrong, that the stage isn't too big for him, that he's not going to shrink under the big lights, which is what he does all the time. So that's about what I think. But yeah, so as much as I don't really want to pick the Cowboys to win this game, I would love to pick the Vikings to go ahead and pull this off. I don't think I think the stage is too big for the quarterback of the Vikings. We've seen him shrinking it. That's all he's done in his whole career. So I have to kind of rest on that. He is who we thought he is in Kirk Cousins. So until he disproves that, we'll see. He's been playing a lot better this year than any time in years past in his career. So we'll see if that he shed that, but I sort of doubt it. Until then, Cowboys 27, Vikings 23. Oh boy, yeah, the Monday Night Football. This is going to be a fucking doozy of a game. The Seattle Seahawks go into San Francisco to play the 49ers, and the 49ers are 6-point favorites with an over-under of 45.5. And I kind of agree. I think the 49ers are going to win this game quite handily. I have it a little bit closer because it's a division game, but with the way the Seahawks have played some teams this year, it's very questionable. It's like, well, why the hell why are you going to overtime with like Tampa Bay? Why do you need all these comebacks to win these games? What is going on in Seattle that the 7-2 feels super fraudulent? You're not being favored over the Browns. Something's weird going on with the Seahawks. They're either criminally underrated or they're just getting very lucky wins, whereas the 49ers are winning games straight up on their defense. They're blowing out teams like 51-13, quality opponents. They're doing that too. They're beating up on the Rams. They're beating up on just about everybody who wants a little bit of it. The Rams are giving them all of it. 6-point favorites, 45.5 over under. The 49ers at home off of I don't think they're off a bye, I believe. Monday night. This is going to be one hell of a game. It's going to be very well coached by the Niners and Seahawks. But just the way that the Seahawks have been playing recently, I don't really trust it. I know they're 7-2 and they have a great record. They play a lot of close games, and they play a lot of high-scoring games where they kind of depend on their offense being able to score a shitload of points to bail out a bad defense, it looks like. And I don't think the 49ers are going to let you score all them points on them like that. So it's just one of those things where you're like, man, this defense is going to eat that offense alive. And I don't think that the Seahawks offense is going to be able to do much to make up for the weak defense that they sometimes show. See the Tampa Bay game. Give me the 49ers in this one, 21-17, in a hell of a game. This took me a while to figure out, but I do like the 49ers at home, off a bye. Seahawks haven't played the greatest on defense, so we'll see how this plays out. But I think Emmanuel Sanders makes a big difference in this one. And here's my pick'em record. I'm 86-48-1 for the year with the 64%. That is going to be the end of the video pretty much. Let's see, and we made it about 20 minutes, so we'll go ahead and start to wrap her up. I thank you guys so much for watching this. Leave a comment with your picks down below. I'll be sure to get back to you. Leave any comment. I comment back 100% of the time. Sometimes I stop commenting, but after 4 or 5 comments back. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. We're going to be doing a lot more content in the next coming 2 months. So I hope you subscribe. I hope you leave a like. I hope you leave your comments down below. Let me know how your pick'em's going. Let me know how your team seasons, anything. I'll comment back. Yeah, so that's our week 10 NFL pick'em video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's see, how do I end this one? Go Lions, go Patriots, even though the Patriots aren't playing this week and just lost. Go Lions, beat the Bears, screw the Packers. The Ravens are cheaters, and all sorts of other salty stuff that I would say. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening. Go Patriots, go Lions, and fuck the officiating. And the Ravens are cheaters. Peace.